Good morning, I'm Peter Milios from the Finance News Network. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite extended their losses for a second consecutive session overnight, marking a sluggish start to September. The S&P 500 slipped 0.16%, while the Nasdaq Composite declined 0.3%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, however, edged up 38.04 points or 0.09%. Turning to the US sectors, the sectors were mixed overnight. Energy was the worst performer, closing lower by 1.41%. Utilities was the best performer, closing higher by 0.85%. Nvidia fell 1.7% following a Bloomberg report that the US Justice Department had issued subpoenas to the chipmaker. This comes after Nvidia's sharp 9% drop on Tuesday amid a broader pullback in semiconductor stocks. Some tech and chip stocks found their footing on Wednesday, with Advanced Micro Devices and Tesla rallying around 3% and 4% respectively. Meta Platforms, Marvell Technology, Broadcom and Qualcomm also edged higher. US steel shares plunged over 17% overnight. Reports suggest that the White House is preparing to block the company's planned sale to Japan's Nippon Steel. Sources told the Washington Post that President Joe Biden is expected to announce his decision to halt the $14.9 billion deal. US steel shares have already fallen 41% this year. Verizon Communications is in advanced negotiations to acquire its rival, Frontier Communications Parent Incorporated. This news caused Frontier's stock price to surge by 38%, marking its biggest increase since emerging from bankruptcy in 2021. As a result of the news, Frontier's market value has risen to $9.3 billion. The stock market bounced off its lows as the Treasury yield curve monumentally returned to a normal state. The curve had been inverted, with the rate on the 10-year note lower than the 2-year yield, a common recession signal that had alarmed investors. On Wednesday, the 10-year yield briefly rose to match and exceed the 2-year yield, offering a reprieve from recession concerns. Traders are bracing for more volatility in September, with many expecting a pullback of 5% or more, given the historically weak performance of equities during this period. Turning to commodities, Brent crude, the global oil benchmark, dropped 5% to a yearly low of $73.67 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate, the US benchmark, fell 4.5% to $70.25. The declines followed speculation that a deal in Libya could restore production in the region. And looking ahead to the Australian landscape, the SPI futures are pointing to a flat start. Thank you for listening.